students. Welcome to the history class. Today we will start the fifth topic, Ibn Battuta and the excitement of the unfamiliar. Okay, by the 14th century when Ibn Battuta arrived Delhi, I hope you remembered about him. So how he was in the area of Sindh, then he heard about the Sultan of Delhi, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Then he arrived to Delhi in the 14th century. When he arrived to Delhi, the subcontinent was part of a global network of communication. Okay, that means Delhi had a connection with China, Northwest Africa, Europe, in the West. So Delhi is the center of communication and it is connected with other countries. Okay, it had a wider network of connection or communication. Ibn Battuta, in his famous book, okay, Rihla, he had written this book in which language? Arabic language. I hope you remembered. So he gave an interesting description of social and cultural life in the subcontinent, that is India. Okay, his book Rihla often compared with the accounts of European traveler Marco Polo, because Marco Polo came to India and China in the 13th century and he was in India in the 14th century. That is the reason his book was compared with the account of Marco Polo. Then when Ibn Battuta had traveled several places like sacred Sri, spending time with learned Brahmanas and men, even rulers. Often he used to officiate himself as the Qazi, as he was appointed by the Sultan of Delhi, that means Muhammad bin Tughlaq, as Qazi or Judge of Delhi. He enjoyed the cosmopolitan culture or the distinctive culture of urban centers where people spoke various language or multiple language like Arabic, Persian, Turkish and so on. He used to share ideas, information with the people. Anything that was unfamiliar was particularly highlighted, okay, so that it grabbed an attention for the listener or the reader. And in his account he had denoted about unfamiliar things, or he had highlighted the unfamiliar things. Okay, so you can see how he had traveled, okay, into different paths. I have just tried to show you a picture of Ibn Battuta, how he came to India. Okay, so 5.1, the coconut and the pan. Ibn Battuta had described about coconut, okay, and pan, which was unknown to his readers, and grabbed the attention of his readers and listeners. He had explained about coconut and pan, okay, with familiar things. He had tried to compare coconut with date plum tree, okay, and pan with the grapevine tree. So his readers or listeners get the idea how actually it look like. Okay, according to Ibn Battuta, coconut tree exactly look like the date palm tree, but only difference is that one produce nuts as its fruit and other produce dates. The nut of a coconut tree is compared by Ibn Battuta with human head. Okay, according to him, the nut looks or resembles a man's head, for in it is what's look like to eyes, a mouth, and inside of a coconut when it is green in color, it resembles brain. Okay, and attached to it is the fibers. The fibers were used to sew up ships instead of iron nails, and even they were used to make cables for vessels. After that, he had compared pan. Okay, so he had compared pan or betel leaf with grapevine tree. Both of these trees were cultivated in the same way, but the only difference is that betel leaf were grown only sake of its leaves, because they doesn't produce any kind of fruit, and they were used by the people for taste. But why this kind of unfamiliar things he had used in his account? Answer is very simple. To grab the attention of the listeners and readers, to impress his listeners and readers through his account. Now, the next topic is about Ibn Battuta and Indian cities. He says urban centers in India have ample opportunities for those who were ambitious, resourceful, and skilled enough. He says cities were densely populated and rich, except for occasional destruction caused by wars and invasions. Okay? He gave an interesting account of Delhi. He had described Delhi as storehouse, and it was used to store ammunition, edibles, magazines, and so on. There are 28 gates in the city, and it was known as Darwaja. Okay? Even urban centers were not only the center of economic activities, but it was also the center of culture and social activities as well. He had even described the cities to be crowded, okay, and bright, colorful markets were also situated in the city areas. Ibn Battuta described Delhi as a vast city with a great population, the largest in India. Daulatabad in Maharashtra was no less and easily rivaled Delhi in size. It means that he had not only compared Delhi with Daulatabad, even he had said that they were equal in size, because he had used the word rivaled, which means equal. It was his view or his viewpoint, okay? We can't say it to be true. It was according to his perspective. As I have mentioned that urban centers or cities were not only the center of economic activities, but also the hub of social and cultural activities. He had given an example of Tarababat. Now, Tarababat is a place or a bazaar in Daulatabad, okay? For male and female singers. It proves that bazaars or markets were center of public performances as well, done by dancers, musicians and singers. From the example of Tarababat, a bazaar in Daulatabad. Even there were mosques and shops were well organized in the marketplace. The account of Ibn Battuta was used by the historians to describe that the wealth was gathered from the village areas, or you can say the significant portion of wealth were gathered from the villages. Ibn Battuta had found that the land or soil of India was fertile. As a result, 2 crops were grown in a year. It was one of the most important feature for its economic structure, because the wealth was collected from agricultural practice only, and we were prosperous in that as we had fertile land. Our products were also world famous, we can say like that, because cotton cloth, fine muslins, silk were famous in West Asia and Southeast Asia. After that, 5.3, a unique system of communication. India have a distinctive system of communication, and it was described by Ibn Battuta. Okay, there were several guest houses which were located in the trade routes areas. Okay, you can say like that almost all the trade route areas had inns and guest house where the traders and merchants could rest. The state even took special measures to encourage the merchants. It proves that we had a developed trade system. Our postal system was also efficient. It not only allowed merchants to send information, but also to dispatch goods at short notice. There were basically 2 systems of post. Number 1, foot post, which was also known as dawa, and it was quicker than the other post, which was the horse post, and it was known as uluk. Often this kind of transport were used to deliver fruits of Khurasan, which was much popular and in demand, okay, where in India. The postal system was so efficient that while it took actually 50 days to reach Delhi to Sindh, but if any kind of news reports of spies would reach to Sultan in just 5 days. Just imagine such an amazing and efficient postal system we had, that instead of 50 days, it will reach to Sultan just in 5 days. That's all for today's session, but before signing out, let's do a quick recap. Today we had known that Ibn Battuta in his account Rihla, he had mentioned about unfamiliar things. Why? Because according to him, it will grab the attention of the readers and listeners. So he had used coconut and betel leaf, which was unknown for his readers and listeners. He had even compared coconut with date plum tree and grapevine tree with betel leaf tree. He had compared coconut with man's head as well, isn't it? He had even described about our urban system, or he had even described about the cities. He had compared Delhi in terms of size with Daulatabad, which is in Mumbai. And he had said that both of these areas were equal in size. He had further described that urban centers were not only the centers for economic activities, but it was the hub for social and cultural activities too. There were certain public performances which was done by singers, dancers and musicians. Even he had given an example of a bazaar which is situated at Daulatabad, and it was named as Tara Babat. Okay, it was the place where male and female singers used to perform. He had described about our fertile soil, and in a year there were 2 crops which were cultivated in India. He had even described about our distinctive system of communication, how state used to encourage merchants. All trade routes were supplied with inns and guest house, and we had an amazing postal system too. Thank you. If you have any kind of doubt, feel free to contact me. Bye bye. See you tomorrow with a new topic.